All right, guys, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's talk about Sean Strickland versus Paulo Costa. This is going to be a quick breakdown, general thoughts. I will talk about some stats. Let's get into this. All right, guys. So first, let's talk about Sean Strickland. Pretty evident style. Sean is very boxing based. I think Sean is a very talented striker, especially considering what he does to guys on the feet that, quote, have a more diverse game. He does throw an occasional leg kick, front push kicks, but I say like 75% of his striking is his hands. He has an awesome Philly shell style adapted to mixed martial arts. Very unique. We haven't seen anybody utilize the Philly shell style as Sean Strickland. He has that deceptive style where it doesn't look like he throws fast or necessarily powerful shots, but they do hurt you when they land, and he has great setups. When I see him strike, I see him lull guys, play with speed in his strike, speed changes, and I think that's what throws guys off. To me, and this is my opinion, Sean is a master of the basics in boxing. I mean, nothing's better than the basics. He has a great 1-2, knows how to roll with shots, applies a lot of pressure, constantly comes forward. I don't think I've ever really seen Strickland take a step back. He has a highly touted ground game that we rarely see. He has some submissions on his record, but again, most of his game is based on striking and with his fists. I'm going to say pretty great cardio and conditioning, especially considering the pace he puts on guys, the constant pressure throughout the whole fight. Sean has some of the best cardio in the game. Pretty high fight IQ. I mean, Sean keeps things simple. Simple is always best. His focus is to keep the fight standing, not get taken down for the most part, not be held down, apply pressure, pick guys apart, utilize great defense, which translates into a great offense. Because as the fight goes on and you can't hurt Sean, he's slowly picking away at you. If your defense is not up to scratch, you're going to get worn out, not him. And that's pretty much his game in a nutshell. Physically and mentally breaks guys. Moving on to Paulo Costa. Paulo Costa, I think, has a lot more potential than we've seen. He's still young. I believe he's 33 years old. So he's right in that window of his prime. Even though prime is kind of like subjective. He looks like he lost a little bit of size in the recent years. Back when he fought Yoel Romero, the guy was a behemoth, a juggernaut. Still a pretty big muscular dude, but he looks more athletic now, a little more trim, and it might be better for him. Paulo Costa, I think, is diverse on the feet. He's creative. I think he's a tad more boxing based, especially back in the day, but he's not afraid to throw wheel kicks, be creative, try crazy things. To me, he's more diverse on the feet than Strickland. Paulo Costa does have a ground game when he wants to utilize it. He's very good at using his size and strength to neutralize guys on the mat. Case in point, we saw that in the Luke Rockhold fight. And Rockhold has a pretty solid ground game. I think Costa, for his size, has good cardio. He's another guy that gets into like these barn burners and fights like that to the end of the fight. Pretty impressive considering how much muscle mass he carries. Very, very mentally tough, just like Strickland. Paulo's not a one-punch guy, one-strike knockout artist. He also wears you down with pressure and accumulation of shots. Love his body work. Some of the best body work in the game, especially if he gets you against that cage. Paulo Costa has ripping hooks to the body. They're just nasty. Great chin. I'm going to say he has a better chin than Strickland. It's just that Strickland knows how to roll with shots, so he doesn't really get hit flush. Paulo Costa hasn't really been super active in recent years. That's due to injury, various things, but it's good to see him on a regular fight basis now. I think the guy has a ton of potential, and he still has time. All right, so the matchup. Let's get into some stats. So reach advantage, Sean Strickland. I would say that's significant, especially considering Sean Strickland's jab. Has a great jab, knows how to use his length and reach. 4 inches, that's significant. Striking accuracy, Paulo Costa. A little bit surprising, but not. Strickland kind of spams shots. Looks like he tries to be accurate, but he's more concerned with volume. Striking defense, no surprise here, Sean Strickland. Takedown offense, Paulo Costa. Takedown accuracy, Paulo Costa. Strikes landed per minute. Like I touched on earlier, both of these guys apply the pressure, break guys due to an accumulation of strikes. Not a shocker one bit, Paulo Costa edges out the strikes landed per minute. Strikes absorbed per minute, Paulo Costa. That goes in sync with Sean Strickland's defense. So Paulo Costa is 1-3 in his last 4 fights. Very spotty. Sean Strickland 3-1 in his last 4. So the confidence, the momentum has to go with Sean Strickland. Overall mixed martial arts experience, Sean Strickland, 34 fights total to Paulo Costa's 17 fights. So I'm going to say pure hands, Sean Strickland. Overall striking game, diversity-wise, I got to go probably Costa. Grappling, I've seen more from Costa, but Strickland's grappling is highly regarded. I know he has more submissions, but double the fights. And there's more to grappling than just submissions. It's control, it's takedowns, it's getting back up to your feet. It's a lot of things, not just subs. So overall, who do I think is going to take this fight? Man, I think this is going to be a back and forth fight. I don't think anyone's going to steamroll anybody. Right now, how I'm feeling, considering how their records have been in recent time, I'm going to lean towards Sean Strickland. I think the momentum is with him. I think he could keep the fight on the feet. Even though Costa is more diverse on the feet, I think Sean Strickland has pretty significantly good boxing. I think Sean's going to do work with the jab. Shouldn't be a shocker one bit if Paulo Costa does really well on the feet. This is mixed martial arts. Anything can happen. Even though Costa's not a one-punch KO person, one-strike knockout artist, you could see Sean get put to sleep. You could see Paulo Costa get put to sleep. But I think Sean is really good at controlling the distance. I can see him utilizing front push kicks. When Costa gets spicy, trying to box Strickland against the cage, that's when those push kicks are going to come in handy. If Costa could get the fight to the mat, I think it would suit him very well. I think his chances of winning would greatly increase. I could see him controlling Sean on the ground. And at the same time, Strickland has this uncanny ability to stand back up. But Costa's a pretty strong guy. Cardio and endurance, I'm going to give a little edge to Strickland. I think by the end of a war, Strickland could possibly be fresher. So overall, what's my final pick? I got to lean with Sean Strickland by a ratio of 60-40. I don't think Paulo Costa could be counted out. Costa is extremely difficult to finish. I could see a decision win for Strickland via pumping that jab, having better boxing, being slicker, taking less damage, keeping the fight on the feet. On the other side of that coin, I could see Paulo Costa winning a decision via diversity of strikes, maybe having more power, hurting Sean a bit more, utilizing takedowns, controlling Strickland on the mat. If he could figure that out, Costa got a great shot to win. But final pick, I'm going to go with Sean Strickland. I'm excited for it. It should be a great fight. These guys are evenly matched in many ways. But that's my final pick, guys. Let me know in the comment section who are you going with and why. Thanks for listening or watching. As usual, after the fight, we'll come back and talk about it. Until next time, take care, my friends. Enjoy that fight.